जरूर इनसे हिंदी इंग्लिश में बात करी जाएगी, क्योंकि हमारा जो ऑडियंस है उसको यही पसंद है। तो आप डॉक्टर बालाकृष्णन ने का जो डेडिकेशन है ऑर्गन डोनेशन के लिए वो हमको मालूम है, और हमको ये भी मालूम है कि मेरे ख्याल से इस कंट्री में सबसे ज़्यादा हार्ट ट्रांसप्लांट्स अगर किसी ने करे हैं, शायद 350 मुझे बताया गया, डॉक्टर बालाकृष्णन ने करे हैं। आर्टिफिशियल हार्ट भी लगाया है। तो जो ग्रेट अचीवमेंट करे हैं, मेरे ख्याल से ये ना केवल सोसाइटी बल्कि मेडिकल फैकल्टी के लिए भी एक बहुत बड़ा एक बहुत बड़ा उदाहरण है। और आपको मालूम है कि देश में हर साल 5 लाख से ज़्यादा ऐसे हमारे साथी हैं जो काल के ग्रसित हो जाते हैं बिकॉज दे कैन नॉट गेट एन ऑर्गन विच दे वांट। तो इसको बढ़ाना बहुत जरूरी है। उसको कैसे बढ़ाया जाए? एक हम लोगों ने अवेयरनेस का काम करा, परिवहन मंत्री नितिन गडकरी जी से मांग करी, और मेरे मित्र थे उस वक्त आनंद कुमार जी IAS ऑफिसर जो लगे हुए थे ट्रांसपोर्ट मिनिस्ट्री में, कि ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस के ऊपर ऑर्गन डोनर जो है वो डिक्लेरेशन दे सके और उसके ऊपर एक हार्ट भी छप जाए आपके ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस के ऊपर। और इस काम को राजस्थान में जिसने पूरा करा, तो हमारे बीच में आज डॉक्टर रवि जैन है, IAS है। आश्चर्य की बात यह है और एक सुखद संयोग है कि उनको भी बड़ा म्यूजिक से प्यार है। वो भी दिल से गाते हैं, जिस भी महफिल में जाते हैं तो फिर लोग डॉक्टर रवि जैन से बार बार उम्मीद करते हैं कि वो एक गाना और सुनाए वंस मोर। तो उनका दिल मांगे मोर वो रवि जैन साहब का सिंह भी चलता रहता है। उन्होंने राजस्थान के अंदर हार्ट ट्रांसप्लांट को के बारे में और ऑर्गन डोनेशन को बढ़ाने के लिए ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस के ऊपर लगवाया है एक हार्ट का चिन्ह, और ये बताते हैं कि मैं भी एक ऑर्गन डोनर हूँ। मेरे ख्याल से अवेयरनेस बहुत जरूरी है, और मैं भी एक ऑर्गन डोनर हूँ। आप देख सकते हैं कि मेरे पास भी एक दिल है, वो इसके अंदर दिखता है, और आई एम एन ऑर्गन डोनर। तो ये जो आप घोषणा है, आप अपने आप घोषणा कर सकते हैं। हम डॉक्टर रवि जैन का भी स्वागत करते हैं, और मैं ये भी चाहता हूँ कि क्योंकि सरकारी नौकरी ऐसी है कि विभाग बदलते रहते हैं। आज तो बहुत संयोग की बात है कि ट्रांसपोर्ट कमिश्नर है, तो हमारे इस ऑर्गन डोनेशन के कैटेगरी ऑर्गन ट्रांसप्लांट के जो केसेस होते हैं एक्सीडेंट के कारण ज़्यादा होते हैं, वो एक्सीडेंट ना हो उसके लिए भी हम कोशिश करते हैं। अभी कुछ दिनों पहले यातायात के लिए जागरूकता का सप्ताह था, उसमें भी हमने भाग लिया। लेकिन वो जहाँ पे भी जाए हमारी संस्था के संग जुड़े रहें, इस कॉज को मजबूत करें। एंड आवर ओन डॉक्टर सुनील श्रॉफ, जिनके बारे में मुझे कहने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, मैं उनको भीष्म पिता मैं कहूँगा अगर इस ऑर्गन डोनेशन का, तो लगेगा कि शायद उनको हम अब एक मार्गदर्शक मंगल में बैठा रहे हैं। लेकिन वो भीष्म पिता में नहीं होके हम सब लोगों को उन्होंने जागरूक करा, हम सब लोगों को जोड़ के रखा, हमको समय समय पे गाइड करा, और वी आर प्राउड टू बी पार्ट ऑफ द मोहन फाउंडेशन। तो मैं यही पे अपनी बात खत्म करते हुए रवि कामरा जी से कहूँगा कि वो आगे की वेबिनार है उसकी कार्यवाही शुरू करें। आप सब लोगों का पुनः MFJCF की ओर से बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन और स्वागत। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू राजीव जी, आपने तो अपना दिल निकाल के दिखा दिया, वो भी ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस में रखा हुआ है। वैसे हम आपके दिल के कायल हैं जी। जितना खूबसूरत आपका दिल है उतने खूबसूरत आपके सारी काम हैं। तो हम आपका भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करते हैं कि आप हमें एज लीडर हमें MFJCF को गाइड कर रहे हैं। चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं और डॉक्टर बालाकृष्णन जी से रूबरू होते हैं। उनकी इंट्रोडक्शन बहुत सुंदरता से दे दी। तो मेरी इच्छा है कि मेरे पास भी ट्रम्पेट होता तो मैं बजा के उनका स्वागत करता, लेकिन फिर अब ट्रम्पेट मेरे पास है नहीं, मेरे को बजाना भी नहीं आता। तो मैं स्वागत करता हूं डॉक्टर बालाकृष्णन का, और रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि डॉक्टर बालाकृष्णन आप जरा गाइडेंस दीजिए। जी डॉक्टर KR बालाकृष्णन।
ओके, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया, थैंक यू वेरी मच श्री राजीव अरोरा जी, श्री रवि कामरा जी। इस इंट्रोडक्शन के लिए मैं बहुत आपको धन्यवाद अदा करना चाहता हूं, और MFJCF और ख़ास तौर पे भावना जी को मैं बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ इस सम्मान के लिए, मैं बहुत आभारी हूँ. I do understand and speak Hindi fairly well, as you can see. I was asked to speak on heart transplantation, और ये पूरा हिंदी में बात करना मुश्किल है मुझे, क्योंकि मुझे ये इट्स अ मिक्स्ड ऑफ नॉन मेडिकल एंड मेडिकल ऑडियंस. तो मैंने सोचा कि अब तक का जो जर्नी रहा हमारा, हमने खुद, मैं सुनील श्रॉफ का बहुत सालों से हमारे कोलिग रहे हैं, 1996 से शायद 25 साल हो गए. तो हमारा पहला ट्रांसप्लांट हुआ था रामचंद्रा हॉस्पिटल में. हम दोनों मिलके एक ही दिन में, उन्होंने किडनी किया, हमने हार्ट किया 1996 फरवरी में. तो तब से अब तक का जर्नी जो है उसको मैं कैप्चर करना चाहता हूँ, और उसके बाद ये बताएंगे कि आगे हमें करना क्या चाहिए इस देश में. तो थोड़ा हम शेयर करना चाहते हैं. सो इफ़ यू विल पार्डन मी, द प्रेजेंटेशन विल बी इन इंग्लिश, बट I'll try and make it as easy as possible for non-medical and non-surgical people to understand what is the story. So thank you very much, and I'll share my screen. I think you have to enable me to share the screen, the host, whoever is the host.
Mahima, please.
Okay, I think it's. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, Doctor.
Okay.
Yes, Doctor. Yes.
So I propose to speak on the story of heart transplantation in India, the journey so far and the way forward. See, heart transplantation in India, as most of you will be aware, it started way back in 1994 when Professor Venugopal did the first transplant. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, Father, we are able to see your screen.
Okay. But till the year 2009, so which a good 15 years, the progress was very slow because there was no organized organ donation program. And to a large extent, we have to thank Dr. Sunil Shroff and Dr. Amlo Pavanathan, Dr. Mr. Davidar from the government of Tamil Nadu. So the Tamil Nadu government took a lot of initiatives, I think around that period, 2008-9, and put in place a mechanism for systematic collection of data and distribution of organs to both public and private hospitals. And that's the reason why we have a situation today where this is a map of India. And all those circles that you see are states in this country where organ donation exists. And it's a matter of some surprise and paradox that a majority of organ donations, even though Rajasthan and Jaipur in particular have made very significant and very, very impressive strides in organ donation in the last few years. The overall, if you look at the number of organ donations in India, majority of organ donations happen south of the line that is drawn across India from Mumbai in the or Surat actually in the west coast to Visakhapatnam in the east coast. So certainly the eastern part of this country still has some catching up to do in terms of awareness and organ donation. So as a consequence, there's been a steady increase in donors, and I think roughly around 220 to 240 heart transplants are done in this country every year. And as you can see from this graph, in our own state and in our own unit, there's been a steady increase in the number of organs donated and the number of transplants done. And we are currently doing close to 100 transplants in Tamil Nadu, and our unit does about 80 to 90 transplants every year. If you look at the current realities for patients with heart failure who are seen in our practice, majority of them are very, very sick. In our specialty, we use a classification called Intermax to define how sick they are. And most of these patients are very sick. and they are unlikely to survive more than a few months without a heart. So, which is always common in the early days of any program, because only the sickest patients are referred for treatment. So they don't have much time to wait. If you don't get an organ in a few months' time, they are not going to be alive. A lot of them are also having kidney dysfunction because the heart is not working. So the creatinine is very high. And a lot of these patients are dialysis. The artificial heart pumps have been introduced for the last 2 decades world over, including this country. But unfortunately, they are very expensive. The average cost of a long-term artificial heart pump is $100,000. So 70-80 lakh mein India mein afford karna bahut mushkil hota hai. So it is not a viable option to keep these patients alive with an artificial support of a pump till a donor organ can be found. So that makes organ donation even more of a critical necessity while dealing with these patients. So to a large extent, we have to resort to less expensive alternatives like ECMO and short-term pumps. And a lot of innovations had to be done in this country for us to make organ transplant possible. Despite all the impressive increase in the number of organ donations, pediatric organs are still scarce. So we have to make do with adult organs and try and fit it into the small chest cavity of a child. Organ transport is a very big problem because India is a huge geographically vast country. So if you have a donation in Chandigarh, to transport it to Chennai or Trivandrum, it's not easy because the state has other expenses to worry about and cannot invest in organ transport at this point in time in our natural evolution. So these are the challenges that we had to face. So the first thing we found was when we started this program, and Dr. Sunil Shroff will remember those days, whenever we had a patient waiting for a transplant, very often he or she would die while waiting for an organ, as I said, because of a lack of affordable options for keeping them alive. Unlike a kidney transplant where you can keep patients alive with dialysis, we don't have an easy solution to keep patients needing a heart transplant if they're very sick. If the medicines or inotropes don't work, they often used to die. So a waiting list mortality was an issue. So by the time an organ was available, very often in the early days, we did not have a recipient. So when you have an organ, you don't have a recipient. When you have a recipient, you don't have an organ. So we had to figure out a way by which the program could get kickstarted. And the way we started doing this was this humble bottle of a drug called Milrinone became available with Baxter company introduced it. So we started using it initially. But the mainstay of our bridge to transplantation, as we call it, was the use of technology, which has now become well known, and even lay people are aware of this, called ECMO, where blood is taken out of the body and put through a heart-lung machine, which is portable, and transported back. And with this, you can support a patient for up to a month. And our first experience with using it in heart transplantation was in a 34-year-old woman from Delhi who was airlifted who was very sick with renal failure, and she had a cardiac arrest. And we resuscitate her with an ECMO. As you can see, we put cannula in the body through the groin. And after about 2 weeks of waiting, donor organ was available, and she underwent a successful transplant. And this is her 5 years later. She was skiing in Gulmarg, and she could physically walk Vaishnav Devi on foot. She had a good outcome. She died after 5.5 years of untreated tuberculosis of the parotid gland. But this was the first experience we had that even in India, you can keep somebody alive using mechanical pumps while a suitable organ could be found. So we have now started using it much more extensively, including children. Like you can see the left upper quadrant, the child is smiling because she's been on ECMO for a month waiting for an organ. And she's smiling because she just heard the news that an organ has become available. And this is her at discharge. In 3 months' time, these children put on weight, they blossom, and they look normal. And you can't even recognize that they had heart disease to begin with. We also start using short-term pumps, which cost around 5 lakhs, so it's more affordable. And ECMO cannot be continued indefinitely, so we use short-term pumps like this. And with this, the patients are kept alive with their urine output intact and their other organs improve. And when a suitable donor organs becomes available, they can undergo a transplant. So this is a child from Calcutta who's on a pump while waiting for an organ. The youngest we've used this pump successfully is this 8-month-old child who was supported on a pump for a month and underwent a successful transplant. This is an example of brother and sister, both from the same family, being on this pump at the same time, and both of them survived, and this is their photograph after 2 years. You can only imagine the plight of the parents of these children when both their kids are on ECMO support or on a mechanical pump support waiting for an organ. Recently, we have started using percutaneous pumps, which are now available. Unfortunately, all these pumps are expensive. We also use ECMO for donors who may or may not be suitable for a particular. While organ donation has improved, not every organ which is donated is suitable for every recipient. You have to choose the organ and recipient properly to get the best long-term results. Sometimes you don't have a choice. The heart has suffered damage because of a cardiac arrest, because of the accident, but the donor organs are scarce. So we have to optimize the donor in such a way that it can still be used to avoid wastage. So we have used suboptimal donors. This is a young child who had a donation from another child of 2 from Bangalore, but this child had very high lung pressure, so the donor heart didn't work. So he was supported on ECMO for almost 3 weeks and completely recovered. So donor organs can be made better. Like this 8-year-old child had a cardiac arrest. She was resuscitated using ECMO, as you can see. And we got a donor organ. So even those of you who are not doctors or cardiologists can make out the heart is barely beating. But the donor was young. We got a donor from a 10-year-old child. And usually these hearts will recover. The reason the heart is not beating well is because of the brain death of the donor. So we put it into this child. And at the end of the operation, as you can see, the heart is not beating at all. So we continued the mechanical support for 48 hours, and the heart slowly improves. And after 4 days, the ventricular function is normal, as anyone can see. So mechanical pumps are an integral part of a transplant unit and should be there in every program which is attempting transplantation. The other major problem was transporting organs. Most of our cities have heavy traffic, and transporting an organ from one corner of the city to another was a huge challenge. And especially when in the early days, it was a particularly daunting challenge because the heart as an organ cannot survive more than 4 hours after it is removed from a human body and before it's implanted into another human body. This is different from the kidney, which is more tolerant of what we call ischemia. It can tolerate up to 12 hours, and liver and kidney are more tolerant. But heart, unfortunately, gives you 4 hours. And 4 hours is too brief a period from the time the donor heart is clamped. It takes about half an hour to remove the heart, put on your dress, get out of the hospital. And if you're then stuck in traffic to reach another corner of the city, the heart might become unusable. So in the year 2008, we spoke to the police commissioner of Chennai, and he arranged what was called a green corridor, where like it's normally given for chief ministers of that time, a police escort was given and all the traffic lights were made green so that the ambulance ferrying the organ could go. And we started this in the city of Chennai almost 14 years ago. This is an example of organ from Guntur being transported to Vijayawada Hospital on the way to Chennai. And it's very humbling to see in the month of May, when the ambient temperature is 48 degrees, ordinary citizens are standing in the heat, throwing flowers on a dead man's organ. So the biggest reason and the most important reason why organ donation has picked up in this country is the common citizens of India, whose generosity is unbounded and who actually demonstrated that when the cause is good, everyone comes together for a noble cause. And this is one of the most moving videos we had shot. And I was in the ambulance carrying the organ behind the escort. And unfortunately, for a long time, nobody knew that Green Corridor was being done in our city. And in the year 2013, somehow Times of India came to know, and it got coverage both in Indian and international press. And now we are very happy to note that the concept of the so-called Green Corridor is being used in all the cities in the country, including from Jaipur to Delhi and other places. So it's a typical Indian invention because it's far cheaper than using a helicopter or other means of transport. And this is a young girl from Bombay who had this heart which was used for the Green Corridor, which received so much press attention. And she went on, and she's now a trained transplant coordinator who's generating organs. And because of the positive news coverage, as you can see, there was a sudden spurt and a very significant increase in the number of donor organs, organ donations in our state. The other big problem is transporting over long distances. What do you do when an organ becomes available in Jaipur and there is a recipient in Bangalore or Hyderabad or Chennai? In other cities, which through transplant, in other countries, this is not a problem because both in Europe and North America, these are rich countries. So they use a Learjet, which is funded by either the insurance or the state. And such a thing is not possible in India at this point in time. Donor hearts, as I said, have the limitation of 4 hours. And we tried using air ambulances, but first of all, air ambulances are not always available in the middle of the night. The costs are often unregulated, and several times they charge 10, 15 lakhs. And if for some reason the organ is unusable, then the cost has to be borne by the patient. And in a lot of places, there you don't even have night landing facilities. So a lot of organs were going waste. So what we did was we started using commercial airlines. By putting it in a box, it goes through the same security check. Today, it might be commonplace, but I'm talking about 10 years ago. This is unheard of. In fact, in the early days, the security check involved sometimes they would make us open this box to make sure that we actually are carrying an organ. So the awareness about organ transport was so primitive. I'm talking about 2012, 2011. So as you can see, this is a box going through the security hold of an airport. And we buy a ticket instead of keeping it in the overhead bin because the box is too big. So it's carried by people. And at the end, all this is worth it. This is a boy who did a heart and lung transplant in these 3 weeks after the surgery. So we looked at the costing of this, and we found that using commercial airlines is 1/10 the cost of using air ambulance. And we published this. This got published in the Journal of Heart Lung Transplant. Commercial airlines is a viable, safe, and cost-effective. And this is the first time in the world, actually, India was the first country in the world which started using commercial airlines for transporting organs. And now, at least in this country, it's common practice. No organ was discarded. In spite of all this, in spite of all the chaos and flying, amazingly, we have now done it over 200 odd transplantations using this methodology. Not a single organ has been discarded because the flight got cancelled or diverted. I guess it's possible, but as of now, it's not happened. The other problem we had to overcome, again, this is not a surgical issue, this is an issue of society, was when you start doing a transplant program, and tomorrow in the city of Jaipur, as your organ donation picks up, it's a matter of time before you start having units which are doing large numbers. So sick patients will be transported to your hospital from across the state or across the country. How do you transport seriously ill patients? The air ambulances or the so-called air ambulances, they all have a very narrow door. You can't even turn properly, and a lot of them don't even have plug points. So we had to figure out a way of transporting patients on ECMO, on ventilation. This is an example. This is a patient who's on ECMO, as you can see. And we have transported patients on ECMO on over an 18-hour or 20-hour ambulance drive. That is possible if the patients are stable. And this is an example of a patient being transported on ECMO in an air ambulance. We have a dedicated team of critical care people in our hospital who have now got the expertise of transporting patients over long distances. And now with this COVID crisis, the number of patients airlifted on ECMO has dramatically gone up. We've also found an easier way if patients are stable. There are train ambulances possible. There are companies which undertake to transport patients safely by first-class train compartments by putting them in a train, including on ECMO and ventilators. So the cost can be kept down. The next question which arises, what is the cost of doing these transplants? Even though the organ itself might be free, but there's so much of confusion in the literature. Newspapers write something, private hospitals do something. So we did a formal study of what is the cost. So we analyzed the cost of doing 163 consecutive heart transplants in an Indian setting. The wording here is important. We analyzed the cost, not the billed amount. That means we looked at what it costs the hospital to do this transplant. So this data is important is because it's reliable and it's true whether the operation is done in All India Institute or in your SMS Medical College in Jaipur or in a private hospital, because you're looking at costing, not the final bill. And it's a large number of patients, 163 patients, so your database is high. And we looked at outcomes. So something very interesting. First of all, we compared the cost of the transplant in India versus any other country where transplants are done in large numbers. Ours is the lowest with equivalent outcomes. The other thing we found was death is expensive. If a patient dies after a transplant, it costs a lot of money because by the time the patient dies, he or she has gone through long intubation, dialysis, so many things. In fact, when we analyze I'll come to that a little later, the odds ratio of death is Intermax is a functional class. So very sick patients who come for transplant are more likely to have a poorer outcome. This is true for any operation in the world. This is true for any treatment. If a patient is almost dying, the outcomes are likely to be less good as compared to patients who are referred in a better condition. Similarly, patients in the context of heart transplant, if their creatinine is more than 1.8, their odds ratio of death or prolonged hospitalization is 3.1. That means a creatinine of 1.8 has 3.1 times higher of probability of a prolonged hospital stay as compared to a normal creatinine. And here's a graph. So compared to alive patients or good risk patients, poor risk patients had much higher cost of administering that health care. And interestingly, if patients died within 7 days of surgery, their cost was not very high as compared to the mortality was 7 days later. The reason this becomes important is this brings into question earlier referral, because if the patients are referred in good condition before their kidneys have stopped functioning, before their liver has stopped functioning, they are much more likely to have a good outcome with discharge from the hospital within 10 days. So not only is the outcome likely to be good, the cost of administering that health care, whether it's a public system or a private system, is going to be lower. So, the best possible utilization of resources involves all segments of society working together. Now, what are the results of heart transplantation? Everyone will ask you, okay, you've done so many transplants. Do they live in this country with so much of problem with water pollution, air pollution, tuberculosis, corona, patients living in villages with not adequate access to healthcare or laboratory facilities? Do they actually survive long? So we did a study. We followed up 257 patients operated in our center. We followed up to 7 years, and this got published in the Indian Heart Journal, I think January issue. It's open access because of a large database. The Elsevier has put it as open access, so it's available for anyone to read for free. So we found that the 7-year survival, including the sickest patients that we've operated, that's roughly around 65%, which is compares very favorably with what is published internationally. The outcomes are better for children as compared to adults. The 7-year survival for children is around 75%. And as you can imagine, Intermax is a categorization of patients as to how sick they are to begin with. So the sicker the patients are, poorer are the outcomes. And if they are what we call Intermax 3 and above, that means stable patients who are able to wait at home for an organ and get a phone call when an organ becomes available. Nowadays, the probability of surviving 10 years is close to 80%. The other thing we found was if the creatinine was high, it was a risk factor. Creatinine more than 1.8, the long-term outcomes were poor. So these patients actually need to be either referred early before kidney function suffers, or in some cases, they might be best treated with a combined heart and kidney transplant. We also looked at our outcomes with pediatric transplants. We have now done over 110, and this got published this month in the Annals of Pediatric Cardiology. Again, it's an open access article available for free for everyone. And here the 8-year outcomes are close to 75%. Interestingly, if you use donors less than 25 years of age for pediatric patients, the outcomes were far superior as compared to donors more than 25 years of age. Even hearts with significant dysfunction, which would otherwise throw into the dustbin, can save lives. This is an example. This young boy had a cardiac arrest, was resuscitated with ECMO, and after being on it for 6 weeks, we found a donor heart looking like, as you can see, the left ventricle is not even contracting, but we accepted it, and after a few days, the ventricle completely recovered, and as you can see, it's normal. And this child, 3 years later, is so. Hearts which may not be suitable for a stable recipient might still save a life for somebody who's dying. This is another example. This boy was on ECMO following a cardiac arrest, and we got a donor heart which was not great. We accepted the heart, and 2 weeks after the transplant, the patient was doing well, shifted to the room, and after 3 weeks became sick and had a cardiac arrest, and it turned out that the donor heart had coronary artery disease. Unfortunately, in this country, it's not easy to do an angiogram in every donor heart. So he underwent, even though the boy is 7 years old, the heart was older. So he underwent successful angioplasty to 3 vessels with complete resolution of his problem. He's alive and doing well 5 years later. What about the functional outcome? This is a man who 6 years after transplant for renal failure dialysis on ECMO is airlifted from Bombay. He's now a CEO of a 2,000 crore company. So excellent functional outcomes are possible with rehabilitation back to society. This man, 5 years post-transplant, finished first in a marathon in an open field as his young girl. A 70-year-old man with a heart attack who was on balloon pump, ECMO, and LVAD. He's a photographer for National Geographic. He's now a survivor after 4 years. So this girl to my left accidentally met me in a hill station. We were climbing at a height of 5,000 feet, looking at mountain goats. And she was on ECMO and transplant 3 years ago. So they become virtually normal at the end of this. What is the way forward? We need more affordable pumps, Indian VAD. So we are working with an Australian company. I got a US patent for it, trying to develop a VAD which is priced at a price point of around 5 lakhs, which will make it more affordable for patients in India to afford it, including a pediatric total artificial heart. Is there a way we can overcome the brutality of the 4-hour window period so that a donated organ, if it's good and there's no suitable recipient, doesn't have to be discarded, but we can store it like blood, for instance. You don't discard blood after 4 hours, you can keep it for a long time. So that's a holy grail, and that's something the whole world is looking at. One of the examples people are using is North American wood frog, which during winter months in northern Canada and Alaska, the heart stops completely and they go into some kind of hibernation, and yet during spring, in the month of April and May, it starts again. So there are some exciting advances taking place. So I expect that in our own lifetime, we'll have technology to keep organs stored for long periods of time. This has already been happening in the area of liver, and it's a matter of time before we do it for the heart. The other thing is, you would notice that there are 1/3 of patients survive more than 30, 35 years after transplant. That's because immunologically they are best matched. So in those patients who die early after transplant within 5 or 6 years is because of antigenic mismatch. So in a lot of countries now, what is called CPRA calculator is available, and we have started a program looking at a CPRA calculator for India, and hopefully we should have something ready in the next year or so. The bioinformatics part of the project is already in place. So in conclusion, excellent outcomes are possible in India with a 5-year survival rate comparable to the best published results. More funding opportunities from insurance and government. The government of Tamil Nadu funds 15 lakhs for a heart transplant and 25 lakhs for a heart and lung transplant for patients from the CM insurance scheme. And hopefully, if that's included in the Modi Care for the National Ayushman Bharat, I understand that already talks are in place on the basis of the publication that we had made to sanction 15 lakh. If that happens, the affordability for this operation will be taken out of the equation, and virtually every segment of society will be able to benefit from this very noble cause of altruistic organ donation. And we need to have more innovative strategies for looking at organ transport across the country. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And once again, I thank with all the, from the bottom of my heart for this great honor. And I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bala. How simply you have explained all these things to us. हम तो बड़े हैरान होते हैं कि जो चीज हम सोच भी नहीं सकते वो आपके हाथों से किस तरह से इतनी इजीली हो जाती है. डॉक्टर बाला, आप बस आपसे एक चीज मेरे को ये जाननी थी कि जब आप किसी ऐसे शख्स से मिलते हैं जो आपके हाथों ठीक होके गया और दोबारा से आपको वापस आके फर्स्ट क्लास मिलता है, तो आपको कितनी ज्यादा खुशी मिलती होगी डॉक्टर साहब. आपको मिलवाएं आपके एक ऐसे ही पेशेंट से जो आपके हाथों से ठीक हो गए और हमारे बीच में आनंद कर रहे हैं.
जरूर जरूर.
तो मैं राम रावत जी से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, राम रावत जी प्लीज आइए, डॉक्टर साहब से मुलाकात कीजिए.
गुड मॉर्निंग डॉक्टर बाला.
Good morning, sir. Where are you?
I hope you remember me.
Of course I remember you. Oh yes, hi, how are you, sir? कितने साल हो गए ट्रांसप्लांट हो गए? कितने साल हो गए? 4 साल?
3 years I have completed.
Wonderful.
It was done in January, 19th of January 2018.
You are looking younger than before.
And now I have completed my 70 years also.
You don't look 70.
And life is very normal after the transplant. I am enjoying my life fully as I was before the transplant. I feel everything is like that only.
Wonderful, sir. God bless you.
I am having a good family life. I am enjoying, I am traveling a lot. I have already done about 25 countries after my transplant. Maybe
wow.
In India and abroad.
Wonderful.
Maybe about 12 trips to abroad also.
Excellent. God bless you.
Things are very normal and life is very good.
All this is thanks to the organ donation and the families which so selflessly donate organs. Thank you very much for this.
But first of all, I give a lot of thanks to you for giving me such a good, nice life, which I never expected. And the family is also very happy to have me with them now. So I like to tell all people also that Dr. Bala is not only Dr. Bala, he is really a wonderful human being. मैंने इनका पास में रह के देखा है, पेशेंट जो है डॉक्टर के पीछे भागते हैं, यहाँ पे बड़ा उल्टा है, डॉक्टर जो है पेशेंट के पीछे नजर आते हैं हमेशा. डॉक्टर बाला जहाँ भी हमें देखते थे तुरंत हाथ से शेक कर वो करके हमें बुलाते थे, हमें बताते थे, हमें समझाते थे. और हमें आई वॉज देयर फॉर 5 months इन चेन्नई, लेकिन मेरे को एक भी दिन ऐसा फील नहीं हुआ कि मैं दूर हूँ. डॉक्टर ऐसा लगे कि डॉक्टर मेरे बिल्कुल पास में है, एवरी टाइम ही इज अवेलेबल. और एक और एग्जांपल दूं आपको, मेरे टाइम पे एक रशियन बच्चा आया हुआ था अराउंड 6 years old, उसका भी हार्ट ट्रांसप्लांट हुआ था. डॉक्टर वाज टेकिंग ए लॉट केयर अबाउट हिम. एक वेजिटेरियन हॉस्पिटल होने के बावजूद भी उसके लिए अंडा मंगाते थे, उसके लिए टॉयज लेके आते थे, उससे 2-2 घंटा तक बातें करते थे, खूब ज्यादा. मैंने पूछा भी कि डॉक्टर साहब ये क्या आप तो इतना टाइम देते हैं, इसको इतना एफर्ट्स कर रहे हैं इसके पीछे बहुत ज्यादा. तो बोले दिस इज माय ड्यूटी, दिस इज माय जॉब, दे ट्रस्ट मी, सो आई हैव टू डू लॉट मेनी थिंग्स फॉर हिम. वो लोग वहाँ से रशिया से चल के आए यहाँ पे मेरे पास में, और इतना कुछ वो कर रहे हैं, तो मेरी भी ड्यूटी बनती है कि मैं इनके लिए कुछ करूँ। तो वो कभी सवेरे 6 बजे भी आ जाते थे, 7 बजे भी आ जाते थे, उसके बाद में एनी टाइम जब भी उनकी इच्छा होती थी या जब भी टाइम होता था, ही वाज देयर ऑलवेज। तो आई टेल यू ही इज अ ग्रेट ग्रेट ह्यूमन बीइंग आल्सो।
थैंक यू सो मच राम रावत जी। वैसे आप पहले से भी ज्यादा प्यारे हो गए हैं, पहले जैसे नहीं, पहले से ज्यादा प्यारे हो गए हैं। ये ऑल क्रेडिट गोज टू डॉक्टर बाला। डॉक्टर बाला के लिए एक उर्दू के शायर ने लिखा है कि लाखों के इंतखाब के काबिल बना दिया, जिस दिल को तुमने छू लिया उसे दिल बना दिया। तो डॉक्टर साहब, आपको जिसको छू लेते हो वो पहले से ज्यादा और प्यारा और पहले से और ज्यादा बेहतर हो जाता है। थैंक यू सो मच डॉक्टर साहब।
Thank you, sir. I'm very, very
Pleasure
honored.
meeting you
Thank you.
and pleasure seeing a person who is doing wonders for humanity. Thank you so much and thank you. हम बड़े MFJCF के बड़े आभारी हैं कि जिन्होंने आप जैसे लोगों को मिलवा दिया। थैंक यू सो मच डॉक्टर।
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
रवि जी, क्वेश्चन है मेरा डॉक्टर बाला से।
जी
डॉक्टर बाला, हाउ इफेक्टिव इज दिस आर्टिफिशियल हार्ट? Can it be used permanently instead of a natural heart?
Yes, sir. It's a good
It
question.
may be expensive, but how effective it is?
Yeah, increasingly now artificial hearts are becoming more and more sophisticated, and the longest follow-up now I think is 14 years.
Really?
In our own, in my the longest follow-up we have in India that we have done is now going on 9 years after an artificial heart implant. So the latest generation of artificial hearts, HeartMate 3, they are now trying to show 5-year survival equal to a transplant. So that technology is improving. So what I foresee is the organs which are donated will be ideally used for patients after appropriate matching who are best likely to survive 30 or 40 years with their organ. And for all the rest, artificial hearts will be used. So that way the donated organs have the best possibility of long-term benefit to recipients. Unfortunately, as I said, the cost is still high, and 70-80 lakhs is not something that an average person in this country can afford. So we are trying our best to bring the cost down by local manufacture.
Thank you.
और दोस्तों, आज हमारे साथ जैसे राजीव जी ने अपना ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस दिखाया, तो राजस्थान स्टेट में जो ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस के मालिक हैं हमारे कमिश्नर ट्रांसपोर्ट, वो भी हमारे साथ हैं, मिस्टर रवि जैन। तो रवि जैन साहब से मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि रवि जैन साहब आप भी, क्योंकि टाइम इज रनिंग शॉर्ट, तो आप प्लीज आइए और ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस का जो ये प्रोविजन है, हमने बड़ी कोशिश से बड़ा पीछा किया। 2006 की बात है सर, कि भावना ने मेरे को एक फोटोस्टेट दिखाई थी कि इसके पीछे ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस था किसी कंट्री का, कि ऐसा होता है कि इसके पीछे ऑर्गन डोनर लिखा जाता है, ऑप्शन है। तो दैट वाज अ ड्रीम दैट टाइम। लेकिन भावना के ड्रीम्स बड़े हमारे साथ चल के बड़े हमने रियलाइज होते देखे हैं। दिस इज वन ऑफ हर बिग एफर्ट्स कि नितिन गडकरी जी के पीछे लग के उन्होंने ये वाला काम करवाया। और कल हम ये कोशिश करते रहे कि आपके ऑफिस में भी सर ये हमने कार्ड बनवा के आपके नाम से ये भिजवाए, ताकि लोग देख के और इसके बारे में अवेयर हो सके। तो मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा मिस्टर रवि जैन से कि प्लीज हमें कुछ इसके बारे में बताइए प्लीज।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका। सबसे पहले तो मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूँ राजीव अरोड़ा जी का, जिन्होंने कि इस बहुत ही पुनीत काम के लिए ये बेड़ा उठाया है और बहुत ही सक्सेसफुली अब इस स्टेज पे आ गया है कि हर आदमी की जुबान पर ऑर्गन डोनेशन एक वर्ड है और हर व्यक्ति चाहता है कि वो किसी जरूरतमंद की लाइफ सेव कर सके। मैं भावना जगवानी जी का विशेष तौर पर, क्योंकि वो फेस है ऑर्गन डोनेशन का, और खास तौर से मैं जब से इस विभाग में आया हूँ वो कई बार आई हैं और बहुत मेहनत की है, डेडिकेशन से उन्होंने इतना पुश किया है कि हमने बेसिकली उनके कारण ये जाना कि ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस पे इस तरह की चीज हो सकती है। और इस चीज को मटेरियलाइज किया। और मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि इस तरह के डेडिकेटेड लोग आपके मोहन फाउंडेशन से जुड़े हैं, जिन्होंने कि इस ऑर्गन डोनेशन को एक जस्ट एक अनदर वर्क में एक मिशन बना दिया है। मुझे बहुत खुशी है। डॉक्टर बाला कृष्णन जी के लिए क्या कहूँ, इज लाइक अ गॉड ऑन अर्थ। और जो अभी प्रेजेंटेशन उन्होंने दिया है तो वो देखकर बहुत ही अच्छा लगा। हम में से कई लोग तो बिल्कुल ही अनभिज्ञ से ही रहते हैं कि एक्चुअली ऑर्गन डोनेशन क्या एक बॉडी से दूसरी बॉडी में डाल देना होता है, ऑर्गन डोनेशन क्या है। लेकिन किसी एक ऑर्गन डोनेशन के लिए कितनी मेहनत चाहिए होती है, कितना उसका ट्रांसपोर्टेशन क्या होता है, उसका कॉस्ट क्या होता है, एक जरूरतमंद व्यक्ति के लिए किस तरह का मैचिंग हार्ट होता है, मैचिंग किडनी होती है, एयर एम्बुलेंस, मतलब टाइम इज वेरी क्रिटिकल। ये सारी चीजें जो बताई। अब अभी जो एक मैंने छोटा सा वीडियो देखा उनका कि किस तरह से ग्रीन कॉरिडोर में एक मृत व्यक्ति को ले जा रहे थे और उसके ऊपर लोग फूलों की पंखुड़ियां बरसा रहे थे। तो एक बहुत ही मूविंग और टचिंग सीन था कि ऑर्गन डोनेशन को यहाँ लोग हम भारत में, मैं थोड़ा सा बताना चाहता हूँ, हम बहुत धार्मिक प्रवृत्ति के लोग हैं। एक इंसान की जान बचाना हम सबके लिए बहुत ही पुनीत कार्य माना जाता है और हम सब सोचते हैं कि किसी न किसी के काम आए हमारी ये जिंदगी, और मरने के बाद भी हम काम आए। लेकिन इसके प्रति ज्यादा अवेयरनेस नहीं होने के कारण से लोग ऐसा नहीं कर पाते थे। लेकिन अब जैसे जैसे अवेयरनेस आ रही है, भारत में लोग ऑर्गन डोनेशन के प्रति बहुत ज्यादा जागरूक हो रहे हैं और ज्यादा संख्या में लोग ऑर्गन डोनेशन की तरफ प्रवृत्त हो रहे हैं। और इस अवेयरनेस को फैलाने का काम मोहन फाउंडेशन की तरफ से किया जा रहा है। मैं बहुत बहुत उनको साधुवाद देता हूँ। जहाँ तक ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस की बात है, ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस हर व्यक्ति के पास होता है। आज कोई व्यक्ति ऐसा नहीं होगा जो आफ्टर गेटिंग एडल्टहुड वो गाड़ी नहीं चलाता और उसके पास ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस नहीं हो। तो एक बहुत ही अच्छा माध्यम है। और दूसरा, ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस पे ऑर्गन डोनर लिखवाना एक बहुत ही अच्छा आइडिया है और बहुत ही अच्छा एक संकेत है कि उस व्यक्ति ने, जिसने की इच्छा जाहिर की और वॉलंटरीली इच्छा जाहिर की, जब उसने फॉर्म भरा है ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस का, जब हम उससे एक सवाल पूछते हैं, बहुत सारे सवाल जैसे कि फॉर्म में पूछे जाते हैं, आप कहाँ से हैं, क्या है आपका आधार कार्ड नंबर, क्या मोबाइल नंबर, क्या एड्रेस क्या है। उसमें एक सवाल ये भी रहता है कि in case of any untoward incident, if you lose your life, क्या आप ऑर्गन डोनेट करना चाहेंगे क्या? There is a yes or no. तो उसमें आदमी यस करता है तो उसके ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस जो बनता है उसके बाद, टेस्ट के बाद, उस पर हम लिख देते हैं ऑर्गन डोनर और वो हार्ट का साइन उसके ऊपर आ जाता है। लेकिन सबसे जो मेजर चेंज करवाया अभी भावना जी ने जो परस्यू करके और हमने जो किया है वो, कि पहले ये सवाल कंपल्सरी नहीं था, दैट वाज एन ऑप्शनल। तो इस ऑप्शनल सवाल के चलते merely 2% to 2.5% people opted for this, yes I want to donate an organ। लेकिन और उसको कहीं, क्योंकि मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल यूज टू स्किप दिस क्वेश्चन कि भाई इसको छोड़ो, क्वेश्चन को आगे बढ़ो, तो फॉर्म तो वैसे भी फिलअप हो जाएगा इस क्वेश्चन के बिना भी। अब इस क्वेश्चन को चूंकि कंपल्सरी कर दिया है तो अब 2.5% से ये सीधा 33% चला गया ये रेशियो ऑर्गन डोनेशन का। दैट इज एस्टाउंडिंग। मुझे भी इतनी उम्मीद नहीं थी कि इतना हो जाएगा। लोग कई बार ई मित्र केंद्र पर जाकर एजेंट्स के माध्यम से अपने फॉर्म भरवा लेते हैं और वो उसमें कुछ स्किप कर देता है सवाल को। लेकिन जब सवाल स्किप नहीं होता है तो लोग पूछते हैं कि भाई क्या करना है आपको, इसको इसके सवाल का जवाब दिए बिना आगे नहीं पढ़ पा रहे हैं, तो वो कहता है यस आई वांट टू। तो आप देखिए करीब 10 लाख अराउंड 10 लाख ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस हर साल राजस्थान में बनते हैं। मैं राजस्थान की बात बता रहा हूँ। 10 लाख लाइसेंस हर साल बनते हैं और उसमें से अगर आप 33% देखें तो 3-3.5 लाख लोग ऑर्गन डोनर, यस आई एम ऑर्गन डोनर ऐसा उनके लिखा होता है। किसी एक्सीडेंट के केस में उसकी जब पॉकेट में और उसकी पर्स में ये मिलता है तो बिना कोई टाइम वेस्ट किए हुए उसकी बॉडी को तुरंत अस्पताल को ले जाया जा सकता है। और मुझे ये जानकारी है कि एक व्यक्ति के ऑर्गन डोनेशन के संकल्प में से 9 व्यक्तियों की जानें बच सकती हैं। तो 9 persons कैन बी सेव्ड, 9 persons लाइफ कैन बी सेव्ड। आंख, लीवर, हार्ट, किडनी। मैं बहुत खुशनसीब हूँ कि मुझे इस ऑर्गन डोनेशन की प्रक्रिया से और आपके मिशन से जुड़ने का मेरे को मौका मिला है। और इस वेबिनार के लिए भी मैं आपका बहुत बहुत आभारी हूँ कि मुझे आपने इसमें जोड़ा है। थैंक यू।
थैंक यू डॉक्टर रवि। रवि जी आपका अनम्यूट करो, रवि कामरा जी। डॉक्टर रवि जैन, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए। और जैसे मैंने आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करी थी, फ्यूचर में भी मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ कि आप हमको समय समय अपनी सलाह भी देते रहेंगे और जुड़े रहेंगे इस पूरे अभियान के साथ। जी
जरूर।
जैन साहब, 2-3 बातें भावना जी ने कही हैं कि जैन साहब के सामने रखनी है। एक तो जैन साहब, भावना जी अगर आप सुन रहे हैं तो आप कहिए ना। भावना जी, चलिए। जैन साहब, भावना की इच्छा थी कि अगर आप कुछ ऐसा कोई कर सकें हमारी हेल्प, कि नेशनल हाईवेज पे और स्टेट हाईवेज पे अगर कोई होर्डिंग हो जाए इस चीज के बारे में कि ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस के पीछे ये ऑप्शन है, तो गो इन फॉर दैट। ऐसी कोई इसके बारे में अवेयरनेस के बारे में, जैसे आपने कहा अवेयरनेस कम है ऑर्गन डोनेशन के बारे में, तो ये अवेयरनेस भी करनी जरूरी है। तो इसमें अगर आप हमारी हेल्प कर सकें होर्डिंग वगैरह की तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा। और भावना तो बहुत ज्यादा, और उन्होंने रिक्वेस्ट की है कि कोई ऐसी पॉसिबिलिटी बन सकती हो कि ये जो हाईवे पे एक अलग ट्रैक बन सकता हो उनके लिए, जिनके पास ये ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस है, उनका कोई फास्ट ट्रैक बन सकता हो टोल उस पे टोल पे। तो अगर ऐसी पॉसिबिलिटी हो तो वो देखिएगा। तो ये चीजें हम आपको लिख के भी भेज देंगे सर। तो अगर कोई
जरूर रवि जी, डेफिनेटली विल लुक इनटू इट, और ये हम कर देंगे इस चीज को।
सो नाइस ऑफ यू, सो स्वीट ऑफ यू। आपका गुनगुनाता हुआ चेहरा, मेरे को ये पता चला था, राजीव जी ने बताया कि आप सिंगिंग के भी शौकीन हैं। तो जो सिंगिंग का शौकीन होता है वो मतलब हर बात को प्यार से मान लेता है। आपने मानी बात। थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू।
और आपके साथ बात करने के लिए मोहन फाउंडेशन से डॉक्टर सुमन्ना है हमारे साथ। वो क्योंकि उधर साउथ में ये नहीं है ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस का, तो वो आपसे जानना चाहती हैं कि इसके बारे में क्या और वो हेल्प कर सकते हैं। Dr. Sumanna, please.
Thank you, Ravi Kamra ji, and shukriya to MFJCF for having me here. Dr. Shroff travel पे हैं, इसीलिए वो join नहीं कर सके हैं. That's why I'm here. So I'm Dr. Sumanna Naveen, and I'm the course director at Mohan Foundation. Mr. Ravi Jain, I have been associated with Mohan Foundation since the year 1998. And through Dr. Shroff, we have been looking at these campaigns to include the organ donor clause in the driving license since 2009. And it was the Transport Commissioner in Tamil Nadu at that time, Mr. Machendranathan, who actually endorsed this view, and Mohan Foundation had submitted a signature campaign with about 2,500 signatures requesting for this organ donation clause to be included in the driving license. This was also sent to the Rajya Sabha Standing Committee when they were looking at an amendment in the law. So finally in 2011 and then 2014 when the rules came, this was actually put down that the organ donation pledge could be also expressed to the driving license. Of course, after that, through Bhavna ji, this actually happened, you know, and in Rajasthan. So obviously that was a very, very proud moment. So would like to hear from you as to how we could take this across the rest of the country. One is because in the South, like Dr. Balakrishnan said, the largest number of transplants happen. The largest number of deceased organ donors were also from Tamil Nadu until the last couple of years now, which is in the state of Maharashtra. So while the South and the West seem to be having a lot of deceased donors, a lot of transplants, this critical clause in the driving license could perhaps take the impetus of this program, give impetus to the program for people to sign up, for people to pledge to donate their organs. So would really request your help in how this could be taken to all the transport commissioners across the southern states, as well as in the west of India. The one other point that I wanted to make was in the US, which also has the driving license and the organ donor clause the same heart in some of the states. They have the heart on the driving license. Overall, they have, I think, about 155 million people who have this clause, which is on the driving license. So it would become a great tool to, to break the ice for people to know about organ donation. So my first request to you is, how do we link with the transport commissioners in the different states of the South and the West to bring this clause in? The second thing which we have learned, we've heard from the US, is there are educational training programs for the people in the Department of Motor Vehicles, in the DMV, in the states, in the various states in the United States of America, so that people can sometimes be guided if they do not know what that line means. So can we have similar campaigns in the road transport offices in the RTOs across India? So if you could give us your thoughts on these two aspects, please.
Yes, Sumanji, very imperative that those states which are south of this, south of India, where mostly the organ donations are done and the people are more into donating their organs. So this clause should be as early as possible be implemented in the transport, by the transport departments in the south states. And definitely the matter, I have raised this matter and I've sent the example of Rajasthan to Nitin Gadkari ji also and the North also. And I've told them that we have done this in Rajasthan and how we did it. And there is a Sarthi software, a software by NIC, in which driving license forms are filled up. And it's a little correction has to be done there. And so we have requested Sarthi team in NIC in Delhi just to make this question compulsory. And then we did a small little change in our smart chip and smart card in Jaipur, where in Rajasthan RT office. And after that, this symbol of heart and this, yes, I'm organ donor, this line could be printed on driving license. So I will talk to the Secretary Mott and I will also send a letter, DO letter to him and also to Nitin Gadkari ji, just to tell them that what we have done in Rajasthan has created a kind of mission for organ donation, and so if this can be implemented in the whole of country, I think the number which you told, we would reach 1 million number in next 3 years. You can imagine in Rajasthan only. So what would be the scenario in whole of country? The organ donors would be 1 million in Rajasthan in next 3 years. So I think a number of organ donors will increase, and there will be a lot of options for the patients and doctors in that time. And also the thing which you are saying, that in RTO office we can have some kind of awareness and training programs. Definitely we'll look forward to it, and we can get some input from you also for that, and we'll implement that in our RTOs and DTOs office.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
थैंक यू जैन साहब, इट्स सो नाइस। सुमना ने और ज्यादा क्लियर कर दी ये बातें, और इस तरह से सारी कंट्री में ये चीजें जाएं तो ये उस दिन हमारी जीत होगी सबकी। और कोई
रवि जी रवि जी, मैं डॉक्टर श्रॉफ बोल रहा हूँ।
डॉक्टर साहब
नमस्कार सबको, और आई एम सो सॉरी आई हैव नॉट बीन फिजिकली प्रेजेंट, क्योंकि मैं रोड पे हूँ और इंटरनेट मेरा इतना अच्छा नहीं है। But thank you very much for conducting. मैंने काफी बातें सुनी आप लोगों की, और के.आर. बालकृष्णन की बात भी सुनी। और के.आर. बालकृष्णन मेरे बहुत करीब दोस्त हैं। वो सर्जन ही नहीं है, क्लिनिशियन ही नहीं है, पर एक साइंटिस्ट भी है, आपने जैसे देखा। तो के.आर. जी वो आए यहाँ पे, अब वैलेंटाइन डे आ रहा है, इस मौके पे आप लोगों ने ये जो सेमिनार किया है बड़ा एप्ट है। इसके लिए मैं MFJCF का धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा। और जैन साहब का तो आई हैव बिकम ए फैन ऑफ डॉक्टर मिस्टर जैन साहब, क्योंकि उन्होंने जो एग्जांपल राजस्थान में जो किया है वो बहुत यूनिक है। इट इज अ ड्रीम कम ट्रू फॉर मेनी पीपल लाइक मी, जो राजस्थान ने किया है ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस पे। और यही ऑर्गन डोनेशन ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस का ये जो क्लॉज है, यही फ्यूचर है जिससे हम ऑर्गन डोनर बढ़ा सकते हैं इतनी जल्दी। और जो डॉक्टर सोमना ने कहा और डॉक्टर जैन साहब ने भी इससे सहमत हाँ बोले इसके बारे में कि हम एक आरटीओ ऑफिस में जो हम सेंसिटाइजेशन कर सकते हैं इसके बारे में और पब्लिक में जो कर सकते हैं बाय स्लोगन्स एंड सो ऑन हाईवे पे, तो ये तो बहुत ही अच्छा रहेगा। एंड आई लुक फॉरवर्ड कि जैन साहब के साथ हम काम करें और हम चाहेंगे कि राजस्थान का जो डेटा है, मैंने जैन साहब से ऑलरेडी बात कर चुका हूं कि उसको हम पब्लिश करें मेडिकल जर्नल्स में भी, जिससे कि एक ये उदाहरण बन जाए देश के लिए, कि ऐसा करने से हम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को एक नई मोड़ दे सकते हैं। तो थैंक यू वेरी मच। आई एम सो सॉरी आई हैव नॉट बीन एबल टू जॉइन फिजिकली, बट ग्रेट वेबिनार यू हैव डन, कामराज जी एंड राजीव जी, थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू डॉक्टर साहब, आपका तो इस तरह से आवाज आ जाना ही हमारे लिए पूरी इंस्पिरेशन है। डॉक्टर साहब, आपने जो जो बातें हमें सिखाई हैं, आप तो गंगोत्री हो जहां से ऑर्गन डोनेशन हमारे लिए शुरू हुआ है। और जगजीत सिंह साहब की गजल है कि जिस्म की बात नहीं थी उनके दिल तक जाना था, और लंबी दूरी तय करने में वक्त तो लगता है। तो वक्त जो हमें जो लग रहा है, ये धीरे धीरे हम पहुंचेंगे उन टारगेट्स तक। हमारी कन्वीनर भावना जगवानी जी और हमारे चेयरमैन राजीव जी हमें लगातार गाइड करते रहते हैं, और हमारे सारी टीम, हमारे सारे मेंबर्स जितने भी हैं MFJCF के, वो सारे एक मन से जुड़े हुए हैं इस मुहिम के लिए, और उस मुहिम को साकार भी कर दिया है। हम क्या है बढ़ेंगे। और इसी के साथ मैं अनिल जी को रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, अनिल जी वोट ऑफ थैंक्स के लिए प्लीज आए।
मैं सभी लोगों का शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि इतनी शानदार आप लोगों ने वेबिनार के ऊपर हम सबको इतनी अच्छी अच्छी बातें बताई। डॉक्टर श्रॉफ, डॉक्टर बाला, ऑलरेडी आई मेट यू ड्यूरिंग राम रावत सर्जरी and really you are a great human being. I am really so nice of you. आपसे मिलके तबीयत इतनी ग्लैड हो गई थी उसी वक्त में, और आज तक मैं उसका कायल हूँ आपके लिए। So nice of you. आपने बहुत अच्छे शब्द बोले। एंड डॉक्टर रवि जैन साहब, आपने भी वाकई राजस्थान में जो काम किया है और ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस के बारे में, हम उम्मीद करते हैं आगे आप MFJCF को इसी तरह हमको सपोर्ट करते रहेंगे। कुछ बातें हमारे साथ हैं, इस कार्यक्रम को आगे ले जाने के लिए वो हम आपसे बैठ के डिस्कस करेंगे, एंड वो हमारे राजस्थान और नॉट राजस्थान, इंडिया के लिए भी काफी हेल्पफुल रहेंगी। एंड डॉक्टर श्रॉफ, आप पे क्या कहने सर, आपसे हम इतने इंस्पायर्ड हैं। आपने जो शब्द अभी बोले हैं, रियली वंडरफुल। थैंक्स एवरीवन फॉर ज्वाइनिंग अस।
Thank you so much. We take your leave.